Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
BBC News World. September 13, 1917 America, New York, World War II, the forgotten Indian soldiers of Dunkirk. Some 300 Indian soldiers were evacuated from the coast of France during a pivotal moment in World War II. BBC News World. September 13, 1916 America, New York, 20 years after 9/11, will al-Qaeda rise again? Where is al-Qaeda 20 years after the 9/11 attacks, and could it re-emerge as a terror threat? BBC News World. September 13, 1913 America, New York, what's gone wrong with the war on terror in Africa? 20 years after the U.S. war on terror began, Islamist movements have spread across Africa. BBC News World. September 13, 1910 America, New York, China's coronavirus-fueled surfing boom. COVID travel restrictions that have limited foreign travel have led to a boom in surfing in China. BBC News World. September 13, 1908 America, New York, life at 50C, the toxic gas flares fueling Nigeria's climate change. Joy and her family are among 2 meters Nigerians living within 4 kilometers of a gas flare in Nigeria's oil-rich south.
New York Times World News. September 13, 1905 America, New York, Norway's climate election puts center-left in charge. Global warming and the future of the country's oil and gas industry dominated the election campaign. Yet smaller parties with ambitious approaches on climate fared less well than expected. Prime Minister Erna Solberg, left, at a debate last month with Jonas Gahr Store, center, of the Social Democrats and Trygve Slagsvold Vedum of the Centre Party.
BBC News World. September 13, 1900 America, New York, German election, hunger strikers want greater action on climate change. 6 young people say they won't end their hunger strike until the leading candidates meet them.
New York Times World News. September 13, 1840 America, New York, Iran nears an atomic milestone. Edging close to a bomb's worth of fuel is seen as a tactic to pressure the Biden administration into agreeing to a quick renewal of the 2015 nuclear deal. American officials say they have been expecting President Ibrahim Raisi of Iran to seek to restart negotiations, demanding more relief from sanctions.
September 13, 1839 America, New York, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis threatens to fine state counties and cities over vaccine mandates. Florida GOP Governor Ron DeSantis said Monday that the state will punish county and city governments for requiring their employees to get vaccinated against COVID-19, threatening a $5,000 fine for each violation.
Mirror World News. September 13, 1839 America, New York, terrifying moment, man grabs girl, 9, by throat and whispers, "Do you want to live?" The 9-year-old, who showed the bruises she received in the attempted abduction, was violently grabbed and dragged towards the bushes by her attacker.
September 13, 1832 America, New York, analysis, California recalls speed red. The internet is full of 101s, FAQs and explainers about what's going on with the California gubernatorial recall election, in which voting concludes Tuesday.
World CBS News, com. September 13, 1831 America, New York, U.S. reopens immigration program for Central American children. U.S. officials have portrayed the program as a safe and legal alternative to the often dangerous trek migrant children undertake to reach the southern border.
BBC News World. September 13, 1827 America, New York, Russia election, opposition crushed ahead of managed polls. Exiled or disqualified, opposition voices warn of a government stitch-up in this week's elections. BBC News World. September 13, 1818 America, New York, megapod of feeding humpback whales, so special. A megapod of over 100 humpback whales has been filmed feeding off Australia's New South Wales coast.
New York Times World News. September 13, 1805 America, New York, from shutdown to reopening, a timeline of NYC schools through the pandemic. Delays, disappointments, false starts and abrupt reversals marked the 18 months of pandemic disruptions for students, teachers, parents and others in the nation's largest school system. Students arrive for the first day of classes at Public School 25 Bilingual School in the South Bronx on Monday.
CNN.com World. September 13, 1735 America, New York, Mexico's abortion ruling could make waves beyond its borders. The ground literally shook on the day the Mexican Supreme Court decriminalized abortion. On September 7, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck the Mexican Pacific coast, rocking several states and killing one person.
Time: September 13, 1733 America, New York. Apple releases emergency patch for potentially devastating security vulnerability. Boston. Apple released an emergency software patch to fix a security vulnerability that researchers said could allow hackers to directly infect iPhones and other Apple devices without any user action.
September 13, 1728 America, New York, Met Gala 2021, Best Fashion from the Red Carpet. Just one day after the lights dimmed on another edition of New York Fashion Week, and the MTV Video Music Awards took over Brooklyn's Barclays Center, pop culture's most famous faces have descended on the Metropolitan Museum of Art to celebrate the fashion industry's party of the year, the Met Gala. September 13, 1709 America, New York, overwhelmed Kentucky hospitals fear the worst as federal COVID-19 assistance set to leave Friday. A COVID-19 surge in Kentucky has led to so many patients at St. Clair Regional Medical Center that the workers are unsure how they'll handle the growing numbers when a medical team sent by the federal government leaves Friday.
RT World News. September 13, 1703 America, New York. Record-breaking bloody hunt in Denmark's Faroe Islands slaughters almost 1,500 dolphins. Graphic videos, photos. A record-breaking number of white-sided dolphins have been killed in the Faroe Islands, with nearly 1,500 specimens slaughtered during the gruesome hunt. The slaughter has invoked outrage from animal rights activists. New York Times World News. September 13, 1655 America, New York. Pentagon defends deadly drone strike in Kabul. A New York Times investigation, with video analysis and interviews at the site, has cast doubt on the U.S. military's account. Neighbors gathered near damage from a drone strike in the courtyard of Zamari Ahmadi's home in Kabul, Afghanistan, last month. New York Times World News. September 13, 1654 America, New York. How in-person teaching is affecting U.S. COVID outbreaks in schools. School reopenings tend to do well in areas with high vaccination rates, but the picture is very different for schools in areas with lower rates. Rachel Shaw, a student in Gwinnett County, Georgia, between lunch and her next class, felt safer with the mask mandate in effect at the school.